Hi guys, before I want to start this theory, I just want to say huge thanks to everyone who subscribed. We've hit 50 subscribers, which I'm really happy for. So yeah, thanks for supporting this channel. So now on to the theory. So since the inclusion of illusion discs in To Be Beautiful, it seems that MikeBot now has a sizable chance of being canon. But of course, as anyone who's opposed to that theory would claim, that Michael clearly rots in sister location minigame and Foxy Bro is never heard of again. Well, I was looking back at the games to find if I could find any evidence of how Michael could still be a robot, and I found some evidence that sets the stage for Mike Victim and an epic finale that will be the 2020 game. So, the first thing we need to understand is the one retcon in FNaF, which I believe is the identity of the puppet. It starts with the Take Cake minigame and security puppet. So in Take Cake, the child who becomes a puppet is very clearly a boy from the voices in the background saying SAVEHIM, which are save him. That was the one and only retcon, where we see later in FFPS is clearly a girl as Henry says that it's his daughter, Charlie. However, it was more than just a gender change because the retcon itself actually happened during the novels. So in the novels, it was said that Sammy was kidnapped and Charlie was spared. Charlie also had weird dream sequences where she felt that she was getting close to Sammy, but that turned out to be nothing. I think it was originally going to be a puppet reveal, since in the first book, Henry goes into depression and kills himself with an animatronic that looks surprisingly like the puppet. I believe Sammy was originally intended to be the puppet, but Scott needed a way of Charlie dying so she could be a robot, so he did a slight retcon and changed the puppet's identity as the games as well. Now, here is where Foxy Bro comes in. So, Charlie died in 1983 in the novels, so she likely died in 1983 in the games. If Foxy Bro killed BV, his own brother, it wouldn't be a stretch to say that he also bullied Charlie and locked her out of Fredbear's or Freddy's, wherever she was killed. But there's a small detail which changes FNAF 4 and the bullying a lot. So, in FNAF 4, BV has a Fredbear plush that talks to him. In Help Wanted, the child who gets killed by William is led to him by a Spring Bonnie plush. Combined by the fact that we see cameras pointing at the FNAF 4 gameplay bedroom and Fredbear plush, it is fair to say William was controlling Beef and leading him on, slash worsening his fears with the Fredbear plush. Now, William was full on monitoring Beefy. Why did he not notice that Foxy Bro was locking him up and bullying him? But he knew exactly what was happening. I think William was onto it, but before I can say why, I need to explain Midnight Motorist. So going back to Help Wanted, in the Curse of Dreadbeard DLC, we get a whole bunch of FNAF 4 Easter eggs that seemingly went nowhere. Fall Fest 83, FNAF 4 Bully Masks, and It's Me egg. But there's one thing I know about Scott's storytelling, is that he shows, not tells, and there's some evidence that the Halloween Hub is a hidden area in Midnight Motorist. First, there is a purple car. Yes, it's a truck, but if you press a certain button, the headlights turn purple. There's also the house from the FNAF 4 title screen in Midnight Motorist. In fact, if you look at the whole of the hub world, Dreadbeard appears exactly where the dirt pile was in the secret area. So from that, I believe Midnight Motorist takes place in 1983. Hooray, a date! So, what does Midnight Motorist tell us about William? That he's not afraid of hurting his child. We see Foxy Bro there indicated by his grey shirt and grey text. Foxy Bro tells William to be easy on BV, but William does not care and proceeds to demand that BV comes out. This is my house. He can't ignore me like that. Then when he notices BV's footprints, he says he went to that place again. He'll be sorry when he gets back. He'll be sorry implies that William has punishment lined up for BV. So William is manipulative enough to turn BV's life to hell via his brother. It wouldn't be a stretch to say William told Foxy Bro to lock Charlie outside and trap Security Puppet so that William was able to kill Charlie when she was alone and helpless. Foxy Bro was a puppet of William, used to bully Vivi and Charlie. But what happened to him? FFPS and Help Wanted provide the shocking answer. The voice lines for Scrap Baby and Afton paint a picture that all the animatronics have been deceived, and what they thought was being promised was actually a trap. The popular interpretation is that Michael's a player and that Henry is the mastermind. However, it's much more complex than that. In the good ending of the game, Baby says, "Did you really think this job was just fell out of the sky for you? No, this was a gift for us." Baby is implying that she knows who the player is and who the mastermind is. This is backed up by her saying, "You don't really know who your employer is, do you?" in one of her voice lines. With her demeaning voice, it seems she thought it was Michael. But she was wrong, because in one of her voice lines, she says, "You're not who I expected to see." Now, you could argue that Baby saw us in the salvage area. However, this line implies either we play as a different person in the salvage area, or this jump scare is non-canon, like the deaths in the gameplay. Afton also says, "How can I resist a promise such as this?" I doubt Afton believed a call from himself when he didn't make it, because he wasn't the caller. Michael wasn't the caller, it was someone else. In fact, some voice lines imply the guard is the caller. Because Baby says, "I heard your call and it feels like my birthday. Do you have a gift for me?" Molten Freddy adds to this saying, "Thanks for letting me join the party. I'll try not to disappoint." So Henry to be this person claimed to be this person associated with William, Elizabeth, Charlie, and Enid. How, but the person that he claimed to be is the guard himself. But who is the player? Foxy Bro, and that's where Help Wanted comes in. Help Wanted directly addresses the shadiness of the Fazbear Entertainment. From the tapes, Fazbear Entertainment made the Fazbear virtual experience to cover up everything that happened. But Tape Girl says something odd, that the client probably was in the building. Someone was definitely here during the night. It had to have been the client. I mean, they sent us that stuff in the first place with no explanation, told us to get it. Why Fazbear Entertainment acting so dodgy? Then I remembered something from the Help Wanted teaser. Everything is working as intended. I think Fazbear Entertainment deliberately put Mel here in the game. Remember, Fazbear Entertainment commissions the indie games. Why would they need a VR game? Because of the indie games, they are clearly benefiting from merch sales while remaining a relevant brand. No, the VR game had a more sinister purpose. In the Curse of Dreadbeard DLC, Hand Unit tells us that the DLC has no hidden intent. However, there very clearly is. In the DLC, the character Fanny/Ness is introduced. Now, the general consensus is that she's been brainwashed and is now a cult member of Melhere. However, that's not true. FNaF clears this up with a single email. After Fanny previously raised red flags for doing searches of torture calendars, she searches up compliance in human subjects, then self-compliance. Then she searches after their help. Nearly everyone seems to have forgotten that line, but that is hugely important to understanding what Fanny actually is. She's trapped. At the very start of Help Wanted, it mentions mind transference. Now, we all seems that Neil here was trying to mind control the beta testers, and we were exactly right. Fanny is clearly being controlled by someone else, explaining why her name is the Reluctant Follower. The controller of her body is trying to assert dominance and force her to comply. But this revelation raises a question. Who is controlling Fanny? It can't be William because possessed Fanny spoke to him. It's the Foxy Bro. I believe that Foxy Bro was not in the FFPS fire. In the main gameplay, he passes out at 120 degrees. However, in the ending, the temperature goes way beyond that. I think Foxy Bro escaped before Henry burned the place down. Then once he was able to get his father inside FNaF VR, then he got himself into the game to help his father. And yes, Fanny is clearly a female, but there's nothing actually saying the person controlling her is as well. The mask is called Strange Mask in the game files, and Mel's voice was mimicking Tape Grill's voice. That's what the whole thing of the nyom nyom thing is. If you edit it, it's actually Tape Grill's voice. Plus, Tape Girl goes from saying there is no hope, that all the tapes must be destroyed, don't touch them, to saying there is a way to beat it. And what happens when you beat it? William is just hidden. It was all a trick. and it's the story of Foxy Bro, manipulated into locking Charlie out, then bullying his younger brother Michael to death. He then goes to become the CEO of Fazbear Entertainment. Henry then uses him to bring the others in a trap, but Foxy Bro volunteers for the job. But once he realizes what is going on, he escapes and devises a plan to free his father. He then enters Fanny's body, struggling for control. But one final point for Mind Victim. And to be beautiful, it's revealed that the necklace is an illusion disc. At the end of the story, it's revealed that she is now garbage, and when she realizes that, she can't get up. This provides some context to the illusion discs, that they only work if the recipient truly believes. Sarah believed she was real, but once the illusion was taken away, she couldn't move. But why? Because the illusion discs are actually being controlled by supernatural forces, the mind of a child. That's why children in the FNaF universe persist and become robots, because they have some supernatural presence. Sarah could easily walk even though physically she couldn't, because she believed. Now look at the scoop of Michael. I believe when he was scooped, he truly believed that he died, and as a result, his body began rotting. As a result, Michael actually became part of the half mind, but because his voice was 4 to 1, he was not in control, he was suppressed. Then, when Enid aborted, Michael regained control and wondered why he was still alive. I should be dead, but I'm not. Now to address the question, why was Enid filmed? Fooled. Well, time for novel time, but it's serious proof. Michael Brooks, aka Golden Freddy, sees Charlie as a human. And the Twisted animatronics were also searching for Charlie, but killed humans that looked like her. Remember, the Twisted animatronics were programmed by Williams, and William knew that Charlie was a robot, but they were programmed to only see humans, not robots, and killed humans that looked like Charlie's illusion. So clearly there was no illusion disc fooling them. So even though Enid entered Michael, his supernatural force maintains the illusion. Now, my prediction of 2020. It will be Foxy Bro trying to get William out into the real world, but there's one person standing in their way. He has been abused by both of them, and he knows what he must do. The Eftons are going to have a family reunion. Father and sons.